I will never forget the day that Russia forced its largest large-scale invasion on Ukraine. February 24th, 2022, I was in Brazil in the popular beach town Arraial do Cabo. My mom had actually just left back to Canada after she had visited me in Rio for my birthday. I awoke in the morning to a barrage of messages from everyone in my family, the first of which was from my uncle Dima, simply saying, "They're invading." It's the kind of message that stops your heart and your mind goes completely blank. You almost feel like you're in some alternate reality because you think, how stupid could they be? Because tell me why, in the 21st century, have humans, and more specifically governments, not learned from the past and not chosen to solve their differences in more intelligent ways? Unfortunately, the older I've gotten, the more disappointed I've become with the government powers we have running the world and how little regard they have for doing their actual jobs and the little value they place on human life. It's never they that suffer from their decision making, but the regular people. The last 3 years have been a roller coaster of emotions of watching all Ukrainians, but of course specifically my own family, live through the horror and terrors of war. What most Ukrainians want is peace, stability, and freedom to be an independent nation. Many do not want to live in the shadows of the former Soviet Union and have their government be manipulated by Russian imperialism. So in deciding to go to Ukraine, I'm very well aware that I, as one person, cannot change the situation, but I hope that my videos will give you some insight into what is currently happening on the ground in Kyiv, as well as the surrounding areas. While I certainly wouldn't say that I am a risk-averse person, never did I think that I would willingly be going into a war zone. So this has obviously been a long time coming. I have wanted to visit my family in Ukraine for quite some time, especially now that I am here in Europe. And as some of you know, my mom has also chosen to move back there for her retirement. But of course, in this time, I have convinced her to kind of spend half the year here with me if she wants to. So she's kind of been splitting her time in between those two places. I could pretend to be brave and say that I'm, not worried about going to Ukraine right now, and that, sure, most likely just being in Kyiv, things should be fine in the short while that I am there, because obviously the longer you stay, the higher the chances that something might happen. So I'd be lying if I said that I wasn't nervous. I am, but it is worth it to go see my family. So that is what I am doing tonight, where I am getting on a flight to Budapest, spending a couple of nights there, and then going across the border by train. And basically it takes about 20 hours almost. Like, obviously you can't fly commercially into Ukraine right now. You have to go by land, and I think train would probably be the easiest way to do it. But the thing is there's only specific cities that have direct trains. Like, there are more options if you're willing to switch trains, but personally I'd rather just get on and arrive by the same train. So if I remember correctly, I think the 3 main ways to get there right now is through Warsaw, Budapest, and Chisinau in Moldova. For me, Budapest is most convenient because there's like daily Ryanair flights for like 40, 50 bucks. And, I think Hungary has pretty good trains. So that is what I have chosen to do. Second thing to mention is, of course, travel insurance, which I don't think I should have to tell you that most insurance policies will not cover you going into a war zone. So usually I would use Safety Wing, and funny enough, I was actually talking with them about future sponsorships, and it looks like they do actually cover Ukrainians for their
full, complete, comprehensive package, but the emergency medical that I usually take out, they will not cover you as a tourist going to Ukraine. So if you need some regular travel insurance, click the link in my description. But yeah, I ended up having to take out a policy with a Ukrainian company. I think it's called Armor Plus or something. I found it on the official Visit Ukraine, tourist website that has a lot of really good information about traveling to Ukraine right now. So I am taking out that policy, which is quite expensive, I guess, understandably so, since you're going into a war zone. Anywho, another thing to keep in mind is that it's probably a good idea if you're going to do this. By the way, I'm not recommending anybody go to Ukraine right now unless you have a really good reason to be going there. But also it's a good idea to get an air raid alert app on your phone. They try and give you as much notice as possible what kind of missiles or drone attacks are going to be in what area, and hopefully you have enough time to go take cover. Luckily, in the building that my family lives in Kyiv, we do have a bit of a basement sort of area, so that is definitely a blessing because not all buildings do. The harder situation would of course be in the middle of the day if you're out walking around and you don't really know the area. You get an air raid alert, you have to try and find shelter wherever you are as quickly as possible. Generally speaking, one of the safest places is the metro stations in Kyiv because they are so very deep. So I will be trying to not be too far away from metro stations if I'm walking around the city. And yeah, I don't really know what else there is to say. Obviously, I'm going to be taking you guys along on this journey, and all throughout this series I am going to try my best to feature some Ukrainian charities that are definitely worth supporting. So in the description of this video and in a pinned comment, I'm going to put some recommendations of fantastic on-the-ground charities that you can support if you feel so called. I will be making my own donations and actually giving money to people I personally know in Ukraine, because of course that is kind of the most direct way to be able to help people, is just giving them the money directly. So I have a 8 p.m. flight to Budapest. I am going to just do a few more things here around the house before I go, and then we are going to head to the airport. I've talked about it before in my past videos, but I will say that Sofia has a pretty good airport. It's not too big, it's not too small. There's a lot of different flights all over Europe and good connections into Asia through like Istanbul specifically, but also Dubai is pretty good. And usually if you're flying within the Schengen zone, I'd say even an hour and a half before your flight is enough. But yeah, today, as I said, I am flying with Ryanair to Budapest, so I gotta check this baby in and then also get a snack before I go.
I'm sad to report that Starbucks is the same price here as it is in Canada. It's a very weird system because in some countries it is significantly less. Like when I was in Colombia, at least 3-4 years ago now, it was like half, if not less, than in North America. In Thailand, on the other hand, I swear was more expensive than Canada, which absolutely makes no sense. But anyways, yeah, I still have about 45 minutes until my flight leaves, so I'm just gonna get some coffee in the system because Budapest, I think, is an hour or two behind us. I actually don't know, but I'm gonna be getting in at like 8:30, 9 their time, and then it's going to take me at least an hour to get to my kind of room Airbnb that I have booked for a couple of nights. So I need some energy to tide me over and then go straight to bed.
Summertime, summertime, love's in its prime. Summertime, summertime, everything's just fine. But autumn came, turned love into shame. And love's a game, no one's to blame. Who are you counting on? Who are you leaning on? When the cold winds blow strong, who are you counting on?
I am officially in Hungary, a new country for me actually, and I'm a little sad I'm not spending more time here. I guess I could have, but to be honest, I want to spend as much time as possible with my family in Kiev, so I'm only going to be here for 2 nights, and it ended up being that tomorrow is a holiday. I didn't know that. So I don't know how much is going to be open, but I have plans to meet a friend who lives here who I haven't seen in 10 years. And then the day that I leave, I will actually vlog, I think, because things should be open then, so I will do a few things in the afternoon before I head to Kiev. But first and foremost, I need to figure out how to get downtown. There's supposed to be some kind of bus that goes direct to Mcleod station, which is like the main train station that my train to Kiev will be going from. So I ended up getting my accommodation fairly close to there. It was way too crowded to film on the second bus, but I am here in the general area of my room. I booked kind of like a room in a share house near the station for like 30 euros a night. Had good reviews, and you know, I just need to sleep there, so hopefully it'll be good. Okay, I officially am on a scavenger hunt. Took me a while to find the door, and look at this, you guys. I am in some kind of strange courtyard, and I guess I go up these stairs. I made it. I'll have to open this door, but look at this. This is actually kind of cool. I'm gonna do like a little photo shoot here in the morning. you know what? Not bad at all for like 30 euros a night, right? And it's right beside the station. I don't know if you can see it from here, but yeah, the station's like less than 10-minute walk away. So on the day that my train is leaving in the evening, I'll probably just go drop off my luggage at like luggage storage at the station and then head there a couple of hours before my train. But yeah, I think I will end the video here, guys. This is just the first part, obviously, of me going to Ukraine. The next vlog that you will see will be me actually getting on the train. And to be honest, I'm a little nervous about that because just in the last couple of weeks, they were literally targeting train stations, and there was some casualties from the bombings that they did. Honestly, you're never safe. Like, you're never safe going to Ukraine unless you're, I don't know, maybe in the mountains or something. So everything is technically a risk. But I hope you guys will follow along, and I would love to know your thoughts in the comments. And as always, I am sending you so much love. Keep being your own kind of beautiful. Bye, guys.